reports weren't being filed, policies weren't being done, paperwork wasn't being done. So when I found that out, I had to terminate the guy. I knew him well, good guy, he didn't do the job, so I had to terminate him. Then we hit a period of time there where finding a certified water operator to work for us was pretty expensive, and our budget was just not where it could handle it. And then we were able to strike a deal with these, and did you get the names today? Steve, did they say? Okay, I know I sent that. We entered an agreement with these guys. They refer to themselves as the certified water operators. They all three are. And they've been doing this now for us since December of 2019. So we're approaching 3 years. They have straightened out things with the state. They are the ones that brought us the recommendation about the tank, about the SCADA system that we discussed for 2 or 3 months and then approved. And they have basically got us in pretty good shape with them down there. So frankly, I was shocked to get that director's order, and I was shocked to get the amount of that director's order. So I had no problem in appealing. I had to do it because the 30 days was running. They used to give you 60, they gave us 30. I'm not gonna act as the city's attorney. If we have to go to court, I can't do that and don't wanna do that. We'll have us an attorney. But I had to do the notice of appeal, so we've got that in front of them now. There is one thing in there, and J.C. York and I met on September 7th to discuss all these things. J.C. is one of the operators, and he recommended that we appeal as well. But there's one thing there that we have to do, and that is to hire a fourth guy to do some stuff on the, what's the word I'm looking for? The backflow preventers and that type of thing. So he is finding us a guy to do that. So I'll answer any questions you've got that I can remember or think of. I sent that out last night. I did not send it out to you before I could talk to JC. I felt like we had done a lot of the things they were talking about we had done, but I wanted to make sure with him. And so we did that, and JC and I met for about an hour and a half on that. So what can I tell y'all about it?
So aside from appealing the fines, is it inevitable that there will be a fine? Just the size is always in question?
I think so. I don't think it'll go away, short of us having a hearing and a judge saying, quit beating up on these people. I don't think that would happen. I mean, there's some things in there clearly that we didn't do right years ago. But I thought when we brought these guys in and we put everything in place, that a lot of those would go away, and they didn't, obviously. There is even one provision, and I can't remember specifically what it was, but they said you need to do this and this and this, and it was paperwork, and these guys did it and sent it in, and the state's response in that order is you didn't send it the correct way. Well, JC told me we send it the way we've always sent it, so they just changed the methodology. So that type of stuff, you saw what I said through there several times. I just felt like it was not remedial. They weren't fixing something, they were trying to punish us. And that's when I had to stand up on my back legs on that one.
And there's no statute of limitations on something that happened 10 years ago and was corrected 6 years ago?
I don't know. We'll raise the term lashes, L-A-C-H-E-S, is an equitable defense that if you wait too long to exercise your rights, you lose them. That's a poor man's definition of it. But I raised that issue because I really think the things that happened in 2012, 13, and 14, this is a low blow to come after someone. But
That's all I had. Thank you.
I'll keep you posted. Anything, anybody else? I'll get you those names.
Yeah, I do have one question, and it's kind of a follow-up item to this. And I know we get the monthly reports from the sewer side and police and fire. Since I've been here, we've had one recommendation on the on from the freshwater side, that would be to clean the tank, which we approved. Should we be getting some type of monthly or quarterly report on from the water system side?
I don't have a problem with that.
So that we don't have items like this that fall through the cracks and show up that we're not aware of and get blindsided by things,
Well, let me answer the first part of that first. I think that's a good idea, and I don't think JC and them will have a problem. They'll either give us something monthly in writing, or one of them will appear. One of them comes up here every day, and then they monitor our plant by computer as well. As far as the other things, I had no idea that these things were out there floating around, so, or they would have been brought to you earlier. Historically, our problems here with the state have not been in the area of water. They've always been in the area of sewer. And it has nothing to do with our sewer operator or it's that doggone line going down the middle of the creek. And the biggest sewer line in the city goes down the middle of the creek, and when you have a leak or whatever, we have a fish kill. And the last one we had was on a July day, about as hot as this one. There was no water in the creek, just very little. And all of a sudden, people were calling saying it stinks down here. And when we got down there, we could, thousands of minnows floating around. And those are expensive according to the state. We negotiated their value, but they're still expensive. So, yes, I'll ask them. I think they'll do that.
Like I said, I don't know if it would need to be monthly, but I think at least quarterly would be good. But something to consider to at least be better prepared going forward.
Yeah, I'll ask them about the monthly. And I don't think they'll mind. These guys are, they're very interested in what they do. And if they have a problem or they need something, I hear from them. JC's usually the guy that, he's kind of the front man, but the other two guys work up here too. And you'll see them here sometimes at 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 7 at night. But they're up here at different times. And they're doing a good job, in my opinion. So, hadn't had to worry about anything in the water other than spending some money and now this order. So, other questions, comments?
So we can get the appeal in before the 31st?
It's already in.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent it. It should have been time stamped on there.
I think you signed it 14th.
Yeah, 14th, and we emailed it that day.
Okay.
Now, what I do need to do, I guess, just to be technically correct, is ask y'all to approve the appeal, because I had to do it to be timely, but I will ask you to approve that. Otherwise, we'll withdraw it, we'll pay up $77,000, and I don't want to do that. So if somebody will make a motion to approve that appeal, I would feel better about it.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Further discussion?
Can we just give them those surplus cars?
I'll offer them that. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oh me, okay, some informational items. Fall mile lawn yard sales, October 8th. I'm surprised Jim Amro isn't here. Is he in town? Well, I hope. He's changed the name of his business, hasn't he?
He's going to.
Going to. I've got something here that I meant to send y'all, but I didn't. I said I did. But Congressman John Rose is having a military service academy day this Saturday at Wilson Central High School. If you've got students, Laura, or anybody here, that's an opportunity to meet with representatives, alumni, cadets, and midshipmen from the military service academies and ROTC programs, and learn about available college scholarships. It's at 9:30, registration's at 9:30 Saturday at Wilson Central. Programs at 10, they meet and greet with Academy and ROTC reps at 11, and adjourn at 12. All middle and high school students, their parents, siblings, and other family members, guidance counselors, and other school officials, so.
First I've heard of it. The first I've heard of it.
Yeah, Rick Bell sent it out today too. Congressman Rose sent me this about a week ago. You want this?
Make a copy of it.
Oh, you can, I can get another. It's no problem. I'm too old to be in the military, so I won't be there. Have a lot of respect for those that are, but I won't be there. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 18th. That's a Tuesday night, third Tuesday. There was some concern about whether or not we could have it because of early voting. Early voting starts on the 19th, and they usually come in on the 18th to set up. I called Tammy Smith, the election coordinator, today, asked her if we could shorten our early voting to 14 days. And she said she would rather not because she'd already advertised, and I certainly understand that. So she agreed, and I appreciate that. We can have our meeting on that regular Tuesday night, and she and another person will come in as soon as we adjourn and set up the voting machines that night. So once we leave here that night, we'll be through here for 20 days or so in here, but we can get our October meeting in at the regular time.
Well, if the volleyball team makes it to state, that's the first day of state. And we have a very good chance of making it to at least the first day or two,
You know, I thought about that too.
just to tell it y'all.
So I got that issue, I got that hill climbed, but if we make it to the state, we'll do something else. We have shut down these meetings 2 out of the last 3 years and moved them to another date so that we could go and support the volleyball. And I know it'd be silly of me to call the meeting with so many of y'all interested, you ain't gonna be here anyway, so might as well move the meeting. So we'll see what we can come up with on that. Folks, y'all get an idea tonight, plus you know what's out there still open-ended of what's going on in this community. I've never seen it more busy than what it is right now with more issues. They're good issues, they're growth issues. They really are, even when there's fines involved, they're growth issues, but there's a lot going on. Bear with me. Hal, you got anything?
Whatever become of the charging station? You said we might be getting one here.
I didn't follow up on it, and the salesman hadn't called me, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So
I
will.
just wondered if it was,
I hadn't-
they're fixing to start setting them up everywhere, I think,
Yeah,
so. That's all I know.
Several months ago, we approved the remodeling of the bathrooms here in this
Yep.
building. And has any progress been made on that? I know we had some support from senior citizens.
we did. No, that's one of the things I would group in there, but I know the senior citizens have reminded the ladies in the office to remind me, so, but we don't have anything right now going on. I'll see what I can do.
The other thing I was gonna mention to you, we also mentioned a sign for out front at one point in time.
Yep.
Just an FYI, the Baptist Church is looking at redoing their sign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we could maybe contact the same vendor, if we're gonna have someone installing electronic signs in town.
Who's doing theirs?
I'm not sure who's doing that. The Ways and Means Committee at the church meets on Wednesday night this week to discuss that, so.
Is it Pat and Donna, or is it somebody else?
I don't know. I'm not on that committee.
Okay. I ain't been to church in 2 or 3 weeks, so. What else, Steve? Miss Laura? Miss Christie? Caleb? How's that boy? Good? I see him on Facebook. He's ready, ain't he? What about it?
I want to talk to you about not being at church for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, well, somebody needs to, and y'all remember me, if you would. I plan to be there this Sunday if we can get back Saturday night. Anything? All right, anything from anybody else? All right, I'll take that famous motion.
I make a motion.
Is there a second? I will declare us adjourned by thanking all of you for everything you do.